Well, good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. And today, I'm not cooking. I'm sealing. This is strange for me because I don't do infomercials. I'm not a pitch man. My name isn't Billy Mays for OxyClean. Quite frankly, I don't like all that stuff. Everybody on YouTube is trying to sell you something. And I suppose that includes me, but I'm trying to sell you on a healthy lifestyle. I try to show you gadgets and tools that make that easier. And because I do that, I get approached by everybody that makes everything from recliners to life-extending coffee that wants me to introduce their products to you. Now, I got an email from a company called Wevac, and they make vacuum sealers, but they make commercial vacuum sealers and chamber-style vacuum sealers, which are different from the traditional consumer style that sucks the air out of the bag and sucks all the liquid out of it too. The chamber style are useful for a lot of things we don't need. You can marinate in them. You can vacuum seal pretty much anything, but I'm not concerned about pretty much anything. I'm concerned about the needs that I have living this carnivore lifestyle. I agreed to do this because they gave me one of these machines for free. And I wanted one of these machines. I wanted one so bad I could taste it because I had a bigger and more expensive version of this thing when I ran my restaurant. It was great. And every time I suffer using those little consumer brand vacuum sealers that break all the time, I say, God, I wish I had one of those chamber style vacuum sealers because it works so much better. And I got excited when I'll be honest with you, I got excited when I got the offer. They said, show this, make a video, show this to the people who watch your carnivore channel. We think it fits in very well with a carnivore lifestyle, and we'll send you one. And we'll give your customers a 15% discount code if they want to buy one. And I said, well, okay, that's fair enough. But I also said, no, I said, I'm not going to agree to anything until you send me one of these things and I'll get a chance to check it out. And if I like it, fine, I'll do your video. If I don't like it, I will put it back in the box and ship it back to you, and we'll stay friends. I was surprised when they actually agreed to that. I admired the fact that they agreed to that because it showed me they had a little confidence in their product. So what I have here is what I consider my early birthday present from Wevac, so that I'd make this video and show it to you, so that you can decide if you want one, you can get one, or any of the other smaller ones that they sell. So let's take a look at the unboxing from the other day. Well, it's in a big box. Wevac chamber vacuum sealer. It says smart vacuum mode, digital control, great for juicy food, compact design. Okay. Let's see how compact this thing really is. We'll open it up. I'm excited to see this thing. We have a modest size user manual, a thank you, and a note that says, please place the seal bar into the seal bar groove in front of the chamber before using. And right here we evidently have a seal bar. So we will put that heavy, we will put that aside and see what we've got here. Wow, look at that. I will slide this out of the box. So what we have, to give us some bags, we have the sealing bar. Wow. Now it does have a tempered glass top. And now we just have to learn how to use it. And here's a little 45-second summary of what it's about. I'll tell you right up front, if you want to save a lot of time, I think if you're a carnivore, this is a handy thing to have right alongside the sous vide, right alongside an air fryer, right alongside a carbon steel pan. You've got the tools that you need to deal with buying, prepping, storing, freezing, cooking, and just enjoying the hell out of beef and meat with the least amount of effort and the greatest security that stuff that you vacuum seal up and put in the freezer is not going to leak in air, is not going to get freezer burn, and you're not going to lose hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars worth of frozen meat because your vacuum sealer didn't do a good job. In the description of this video, there'll be a link to their site. There'll be a coupon code, which is old guy, all together, old guy, and that'll get you 15% off of this. It also is good for 15% off of anything else that they sell. And they do have freezer bags in commercial quantities, which is terrific. This is and you get your discount off of this. This is a box with hundreds of them, and there's two different sizes in that. They sent me these too. These are nice people. Big box like this. These are beautiful, beautiful bags. I looked, and they're free of all the harmful chemicals. You can store in these things. You can sous vide in these things. So let me go and let's play around with this machine a little bit here and see how it vacuum seals some different things that we might use living our carnivore lifestyle. Okay, this is the Wevac CV12. It's a 12-inch vacuum sealer. All stainless steel. It's got a tempered glass lid. It uses a power cord, kind of like a computer, and the main power switch is over here. I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to open the lid. Inside, it's got a large chamber right here with a smooth, kind of matte finish surface. In the back here is a little port to hook up a tube or a hose that goes to accessories that let you vacuum seal from mason jars, these reusable vacuum seal bags, pretty much anything. I doubt I'll ever be using that. It's not the kind of thing that I think we're going to use a machine like this for. Down here on the front panel, we have the controls. But for the purposes of this review, I'll put a link in the description to a complete tutorial on the Wevac website on how to operate every function of this vacuum sealer. We're going to be using the automatic mode, and I've got it set to medium. And basically, I don't have to touch any of these controls for the whole session anymore, because it's going to, all I have to do is close the lid, it's going to start, and it's going to do its thing. Being carnivores, that steak and hamburger might be a good thing for us to start with. So we're going to take the bag. These are nice bags. They got a place to write what it is on it. And we're going to start with a steak. So let's put the steak in the bag. Now right here, you see there are two metal clips. And what I'm going to do is this is the bar, and this comes out. This is the bar that is the sealer, and it gets its electricity from these contacts, so you don't have to screw it in. All you need to do is set it down in the slot. It is got a Teflon coated tape on it, so it's easy to clean, and if anything should get spilled around, which is highly unlikely, this thing just lifts out and then just drops back in, and that's the sealer bar. The way a chamber sealer works is instead of just sucking the air out of the bag, and if there's anything juicy in the bag, it'll suck that into the machine pump as well, it actually creates a vacuum around the whole bag. If the bag is sitting in the chamber and the vacuum's being created, it'll be created around the bag and also in the bag all at the same time. So you'll hardly see anything move. Now, we're used to looking at these vacuum sealers and seeing the bags shrink tight. That's not what happens in these things. It just creates a vacuum atmosphere around the entire bag, inside and out. So there's no difference. There's no pressure on the bag from the air outside because it's being evacuated at the same time as the bag on the inside. This is why you can vacuum seal liquids. There's no forces, there's no pressure to suck the liquids out of the bag. So we take the bag and we put it in here like this, and basically just set the bottom of the bag under the clip and stretch it out across the sealing bar, and that's it. That's it. Now all I have to do is shut the lid, and this thing will start all by itself. Now you can look in the top here, and I doubt that you're really going to see a lot happening. Once it gets to, there you go, now it's counting down the time to seal, and let's come back and take a look and see what happens. When the air is introduced back in the chamber, you noticed there was a vacuum inside the bag, which had then been sealed. So now what we have is we have a tightly vacuum sealed steak ready for the freezer. And one of the things I really like about this, and I'm going to try to see if you can see it. Yes, you can. You can see it very clearly here. If you look at the seal on this bag, you'll see there are two individual seals. See them? And those two individual seals pretty well assure that, unlike the residential type sealers that sometimes you find have leaked air in while they're being frozen, this thing is sealed up. And if I was storing liquids in this, that would be important to me. So let's do it again with hamburger. And we'll put this aside over here and throw a hamburger in there. The bag. Take the bag. Put the clip under that. Stretch it out over the sealing bar. Close the lid. That's all there is to it. Let it go through its thing. And while we're letting it go through its thing, I'm going to take some coffee that I've stopped using because I'm now using the K-cups, and this coffee has been sitting in here. And I think before it gets stale, what I want to do is I think I'm going to vacuum seal it, and that'll keep it forever. So I'm going to take this bag while this thing is finishing, and I'm going to take this over the sink here, and I'm going to pour all this coffee into this bag. Well, I just heard that the vacuum sealer just let the air in. Okay, so now I have a hamburger vacuum sealed. Lovely, and does a great job. Now I got coffee in here. So this is coffee that I don't want to go stale, so I'll keep this. So I'm going to take, just like before, and put the coffee in, and let that work. The next thing I want to do, and this is going to be the last one of these because I could go on all day vacuum sealing everything that doesn't run away from me, but I'm interested only in the very basics because I need a machine that's going to be reliable. It's going to get all the air out. It's going to make a great seal, and it's going to allow me to store things that may be a little bit on the juicy side. What's more liquid than water? So now I've got a vacuum seal bag that I'm going to seal with water. Now, here's my coffee. Here's my coffee. And this thing, you talk about vacuum sealed, this thing is hard as a rock. Look at this. There. You know how when you buy these coffee vacuum sealed, how it's hard as a rock? Well, this has turned it into a coffee rock. And I got news for you. I could throw this in the freezer or just leave it in the cabinet. This coffee will probably stay fresh now for a long time. But that's impressive. So now what I want to do is I want to seal up this water and see how much of this water actually ends up in the chamber. So I'm going to lay this in here just like I would with anything else. And since the opening of the bag is definitely above the bottom of this bin of the water, there shouldn't be any water at all coming out of this thing. So let's vacuum seal some water. This is the first time I'm doing it with the liquid, so that's an interesting little experiment. Okay. I have a vacuum sealed sack of water here, which be interesting to freeze it and see if I get a clear ice cube, but this is not going to break open, which is very impressive. And interestingly enough, if I look down inside here, especially at the bar, or down under. There isn't a single drop of liquid. Okay, there you have it. I think this may have gone on long enough. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this thing. I think this thing is as good as the multi-$1,000 machine I had in my restaurant. I think for home use, it'll last you for a lifetime. Wevac seems to be a very responsive company, at least in my dealings with them. It's something that I would not hesitate to recommend to anybody. Whether you need it or not, that's up to you. This isn't a hard sell. If you're a carnivore, buying meat, how much money you can save by buying in bulk, storing it safely for a long time, and you can, according to their charts, you can keep a steak in a freezer up to almost a year and a half. I think this could save you a fortune. I think it's a great investment. And whether you buy one or not for yourself, I don't care. I got one, and I'm happy and I'm taken care of, but I'm not here to sell anybody a bill of goods. There's a link to the Wevac website in the description of this video. It's just wevactech.com. There are links to tutorial videos on how to use this thing. If you're more curious about it and want a greater in-depth demonstration of what it can do, maybe there are things you needed to do that have nothing to do with carnivore. I'm not here to talk about that stuff. There's a 15% discount available from Wevac if you use the code OLDGUY if you should decide to buy one of these from them. They ship quickly, they're responsive, their bags, even if you have a different kind of vacuum seal or a food saver or something, buy your bags from these people. They're half the price or less than half the price of the bags that they sell in small quantities. I think it's all pro except for one. Well, there's two cons to this thing. There's two cons. The first con is obvious. The size. If you're living out of a camper trailer, this is not for you. If you have a tiny little apartment-sized kitchen, I'm fortunate. I have a larger kitchen. There are many larger kitchens than mine. But if you have a tiny little space and don't have room for it, unless you want to put it away and bring it out every time, this isn't for you. It also sells for $449, although they do have a smaller version for $299, less the 15% discount you'll get. But it's not cheap. But even Food Savers got some of their consumer vacuum sealers that sell for up to $300. I paid $150 for my last one. And it works. It works. Not like this. Not like this, and not as versatile as this. So, I'm sorry if you can't afford it. Not everybody can. I'm sure I'll get comments from people say, why, not all of us can afford that. Well, I'm sorry. Not everybody can afford the new cars they advertise on TV every morning. But some people can. I think it'll save more money in the long run. So, I consider it an investment. I'm happy to have one. They would have to come, if they want it back, they're going to have to come fight me for it. I like this thing. I would highly recommend it. If you want one, get it. You're not going to see a commercial on every one of my videos for this thing. They are not sponsoring my channel like so many things like Element and some of these other people do. I'm making this video because I agreed to if they gave me one. Being transparent with you. It is available on Amazon, but not with the 15% discount. Here's a chart comparing their 3 different models with all the dimensions and specifications in case you need to do some measuring. So with that, me, my bag of water, my hard coffee, my vacuum sealed burgers, my ribeye. Thank you for watching. Thank Wevac for supplying this fabulous unit for me. I hope you've enjoyed the old guy's first ever review, official review, since I started this channel. And after you've absorbed all this information, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.